Hey, Billy Bob here, and it's Monday Morning Quarterback with Billy Bob. Who else would it be with? It's me. I'm here. And a lot of stuff, so let's just get to it. I mean, a little bit of everything. We have the return of college football, week 0. They were in Ireland. It was misty. It was wet. It was damp. It was Ireland. It's Dublin, you know. We're going to go have a Guinness. Apparently, Avery Johnson's dad and his brother hoisted a few too many pints of Guinness because they were rolling in the street, in the puddles, fighting with each other. God's sakes. Avery Johnson's dad and his brother after the game. Talk about total embarrassment. Even after KSU loses, then Avery Johnson has to deal with that. He had a pretty good game overall, but they lost. They lost to Iowa State. Iowa State played really good down the stretch. Rocco Beck played good enough to win. I didn't watch the whole game, but I do know they had trouble keeping the lines on the field. I don't know if they were using paint, almost like they were using old school lime on the field because it just kept disappearing. They didn't even know where the yard markers were sometimes. But anyway, the deciding drive was Iowa State controlled the ball. They held the ball the last 6 minutes and 43 seconds, I think, of the game. So let's see, 6 minutes 43. Billy. 6 minutes and 23 seconds. I was off by 20 seconds. So that was that. UNLV beat Idaho State. The return of Dan Mullen to the sidelines after like 1,300 and some days of not coaching college football. Back, they squeaked it out. They were favored by 30, and they only won by, 3-6? Let's look. I didn't 38-31. Not bad. Alex Orji from the University of Wolverine. He played a little bit. He went there to be a starter, but he isn't the starter. But he did play. Looked like he played okay. 3 for 3 passing. Had about 30 yards rushing. I'm sure Dusty Goldie will be happy about that, to see a former Wolverine doing mediocre. Kansas, in their brand newly refurbished stadium, blew out Fresno State. Fresno State's not a bad team. At least they weren't last year, but they lost their quarterback, Mikey Keene, who went to the University of Wolverine. And looks like now he's going to back up the newly announced starter for the Wolverines, Bryce Underwood, the true freshman. Hey, Western Kentucky, the Hilltoppers beat Sam Houston. Woo-hoo. And then this one's really cool. Stanford was terrible. They got beat by Hawaii. They got beat by a field goal, a walk-off field goal. But the cool thing about it is this guy, I hope I pronounce it right, Kansai Matsuzawa. Kansai Matsuzawa. He's Japanese. Maybe you couldn't tell. But he came to America. He saw this thing called football. The guy's kicking. Thought he wanted to be a kicker. So he went back to Japan, and he learned how to kick by watching YouTube videos. That kind of sounds like William Byron in NASCAR, who learned how to race on a simulator. So he learns how to kick on YouTube. He comes back. He goes to a community college and does well there and moves up to Hawaii. He kicked 3 field goals in the opening game. He kicked the game-tying field goal, a 40-yard field goal, and he kicked the game-winning field goal as time expired, a 38-yard field goal. So these weren't like little chip shots. Now, they asked him after the game if he was nervous, and he said, "Nervous? I'm more nervous about speaking English in this press conference than I was about kicking." By the way, he spoke pretty damn good English, and he could speak the college football or football speak when he was talking about situations. So that's the college football this week's big week. Big week. We'll talk about it more as the week goes on. But I will tell you, I don't have any ill will against Arch Manning, but I am sick and frickin' tired of every sports show. It's all about, when they start talking about the game, it's all about Arch Manning. Arch this, Arch that, Arch my ass on out of here, okay? You know, I hope Arch struggles. That's all I'm going to say. I hope Arch struggles. Let's see, what else? NFL preseason, it's over. Now they got a week off. They got to cut down to the 53-man rosters. And I haven't paid attention to all the teams. I mean, the teams I watched really are the Browns, a.k.a. the Clowns, the Bengals, and the Bucks, right? So the Bucks are here in town, well, up the road to Fur Peace. And then you got the Browns and the Bengals, the Ohio teams. So the big conspiracy theory is that Kevin Stefanski was trying to sabotage Shedeur Sanders so he could find an easy way to cut him and not have to deal with him. They played the fourth string, they played the ninth string. Oh, he called plays funky. Oh, he did this, he did that. Bottom line is the Browns said they're keeping 4 quarterbacks, okay? And they cut Tyler Huntley, who they just got. So they cut him. So that only leaves them 4 active quarterbacks. Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, who's hurt. At least he was in street clothes the other night. Dillon Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders. Whoa. Enough said, right? Unless there's a big change of heart, looks like Shedeur Sanders made the team. So, conspiracy theory, out of here. Bengals, I don't know if they look great. They went 2-1, I think, in the regular season, right? Something like that. Just like the Bucks went 2-1. Bengals, the big drama there is Trey Hendrickson going to sign? Is he not going to sign? He posted some proverb, and people start reading into that. I don't know. I can read, but I couldn't read anything into it. And then the Bucks, they played, let's see, Tez Johnson looked pretty good. He had Kyle Trask. Again, who are they playing against? Second team, third team? I don't know. But I will tell you, Flacco played for the Browns a little bit. He didn't look bad, right? Let's move on, because we got to keep moving. Baseball been very, very good to me. But not to the Indians. They're 2-8 in their last 10 games. They've got swept twice here in the last 2 of the last 3 series by the Braves. They got swept by the Rangers. They're now they're out of it. They're done. They're 5 games back in the wild card. There's 3 teams ahead of them. The Red Sox are up 1 game in the wild card. The Yankees are up a half game. Then you got the Mariners, the Royals, the Rangers, who just swept the Indians. Did I say that? And the Indians are 5 back. They're like completely, there's no frickin' way they'd win the division. So, and by the way, the Yankees aren't playing all that great either. They're 6-4 in their last 10 games. Neither are the Red Sox. They're 5-5. So, the team's playing good. The Royals 7-3 in their last 10 games. Other than that, they're not a lot of the Mariners 3-7. Rangers 5-5, the Tampa Bay Rays 5-5. They're 6.5 back in the wild card. Although, if I remember this correctly, the Rays, it doesn't matter where they are in the wild card. Oh, that's the Blue Jays. Yeah, the Rays are right out. The Blue Jays are up. They're 21 games up over the Yankees, over 500, I should say. 5 games up over the Red Sox, 5.5 over the Yankees. And let's see. What else we got? All right. And then we got golf. Tommy Fleetwood, I think it was like 163 tries, something like that. And he finally won. Now, he'd won in Europe. He hadn't won on the PGA Tour. But after 160 some tries, he wins. He wins by 3. He wins $10 million, the Tour Championship, the final leg of the FedEx Cup, by 3 over Russell Henley and Patrick Cantlay. Scheffler looked like he was going to make a run at it, but he didn't have a great day. He had 2 bogeys on the front side, and then he was within 2, and on 15, par 3 15th, he double bogeyed. He put it in the water, double bogeyed. So that eliminated him. Congratulations to Tommy Fleetwood. It was really nice. He was ecstatic. I think once you win the first one, it makes it easier. Second time, third time, right? At least that's what they say. And then NASCAR, the final race going into the playoff, and the winner was Ryan Blaney, and he finished ahead of, if you saw the finish, I posted it on the Backyard Barbecue website. There were 3 guys less than 1 second behind him. They were 4 wide coming to the line. So now going into the round of 12, well, the 12 races, the first round is 3. And then the eliminations happen, and then 3 more eliminations. But you got Kyle Larson, William Byron, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, Christopher Bell, Shane Van Gisbergen, Chase Elliott, Chase Briscoe, Bubba Wallace, Austin Cindric, Ross Chastain, Joey Logano, Josh Berry, there's a new one, good for Josh, Tyler Reddick, Austin Dillon, who just got in by winning Richmond a week ago, and Alex Bowman. So that's your top 16 in NASCAR. That's Monday Morning Quarterback with Billy Bob. Stay tuned for the rest of the week's events. America, land of the free because of the brave. Stay focused, America. Billy Bob, peace out.